And welcome to SEC football presented by Sonic. As we come to you from the banks of the Tennessee River on a spectacular day here in Knoxville, Tennessee, Bobby Petrino back at the helm. Who would have thought this years ago? But he is running the show as the interim head coach of the Razorbacks, taking over the last 2 weeks. Meanwhile, Josh Heupel just continues to win football games. The 12th ranked team in the country, 4-1, looking for back-to-back SEC wins. Both these teams have had a week off, but to say that it's been a little different would be an understatement. Arkansas making some huge changes since we last saw them in a sounding defeat against Notre Dame. It all started the day after that loss to the Fighting Irish when Sam Pittman was let go of his duties as the head coach after 5+ seasons. That means that offensive coordinator Bobby Petrino, who's been there now, and this is his second year as the OC, is named the interim head coach. He says that he wants this job. He's auditioning for it. Well, he did not sit on his hands. He immediately fired defensive coordinator Travis Williams and a couple of other defensive assistants. So there has been a lot of change going on over in Fayetteville. Pleasant good afternoon, everybody. I'm Dave Neal. This is Fozzie Whitaker. Glad you could join us today for Tennessee and Arkansas. But let's get this Arkansas story underway here. You're a former player at the NFL college level. What's it like in the locker room when something like this happens midseason?
Yeah, transition can be very tough. Teams can take it one of two ways. The first way is continue to do what got the previous staff out of the door, or they can double down on a new identity, a new belief in what Coach Bobby Petrino is implementing, and then start moving forward to become a better football team.
Well, certainly these two clubs looking for changes. You know, Tennessee's had back-to-back SEC games that have gone to overtime. They had the week off to try to regroup. This is a team that's putting up many points, trying to get their defense buckled up. The same situation on the other side, although defensively Arkansas has really struggled, but offensively they've been pretty good. As the Volunteers run through one of the great spectacles in all of college football, the Power T. And here come the Fighting Hogs, led by that man, Bobby Petrino. A surreal moment, I am sure, for a lot of folks, not just Bobby Petrino, but Arkansas fans and college football fans alike. It has been a wild and crazy 2 weeks in Fayetteville. For more on this story and the players' perspective, let's go down to the sidelines in Morgan Uber.
Well, shock was the word that players used to describe the feeling inside the locker room after the firing of Coach Pittman and all the changes to the defensive staff. But they used the bye week to reset, refocus, and regroup. And now there's a different energy about this Arkansas team. 3 players really leading that charge with the transition. Quarterback Taylen Green, defensive tackle Campbell, and safety Larry Worth. Worth telling he's proud of how unified the team has become through the chaos and the changes he's seen to the defense. He said interim DC Chris Wilson has simplified things, allowing his defense to play faster, and we're set to beat Tennessee. It's going to be like being in a boxing ring. We have to lock in and throw the first punch. There's a real premium on winning first and second down all 4 quarters.
Well, thanks, Morgan. There certainly would be easier places to go and try and win your first football game as the interim head coach than right here, because Tennessee ranked 12th in the country. Obviously, this is an offense that is scoring points in bunches. Nobody scored more points than them. Matter of fact, 40 points in 5 straight games, are averaging over 50 a game. What's making this all click?
Yeah, it starts with these 2 young men right here, Joey Aguilar and Chris Brazzell II. Unbelievable chemistry between these 2 guys. You thought they've been playing together for more than just this season. Joey Aguilar has been consistent as a leader for this team and as a leader of this offense, showing consistency, throwing the ball, the accuracy to get the ball in play, and the trust and confidence to know that that man right there, Chris Brazzell, will come down. And that's what Chris Brazzell does. He makes those acrobatic catches, and why he is one of the best receivers in the country right now, Dave.
And certainly he has kind of been under the radar. This is his second season now with Tennessee. He transferred in from Tulane, and coaches say the second season in this offense, generally speaking, it starts to click, and it has definitely clicked for him. Speaking of having some success, how about the guy that's calling the plays for Arkansas, Taylen Green? I mean, few people in the country are putting up this kind of numbers.
Yeah, he's been unreal this entire season. And second season in Bobby Petrino's offense, it's showing what he can do, not just as an elite passer, but as well as an elite runner. He's able to keep this team on the football field by converting third downs at almost a 60% rate. The efficiency that he plays quarterback with is what Bobby Petrino has to lean on today.
He says he has just paid so much attention to the little details that make it go for him in this offense. One of the reasons that they have had some success. I mean, look, we're expecting a shootout, but we thought we might have that last year, and it was 3-0 at halftime. So who knows what we'll get. I do know this, at Arkansas, many people probably don't even realize this, they've won 4 straight in this series. Now, they haven't played a bunch over time, but last year, of course, upset Tennessee in Fayetteville in a big win for Arkansas.
And get a free large drink when you order in the Sonic app. And in part by T-Mobile 5G home internet.
Well, coaches in their second stint at their former school. You saw that list with Greg Schiano, Rich Rod, Scott Frost, and now Bobby Petrino, the interim head coach. And he has said that he'd like to have this job, and he's going to audition for it. And he's got some opportunity in front of him. In terms of the schedule, they've got this game, then Texas A&M, Auburn, Mississippi State, LSU, Texas, Missouri. Bunch of football left to be played. Well, hard to believe, but basketball season tips off November 3rd. And our annual SEC basketball media days are this Tuesday and Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern. For the full schedule, be sure to go to secsports.com/news. This was earlier today over at the Food City Center, Thompson Bowling Arena. Rick Barnes back at it again. Going to be another great, exciting year of SEC basketball. Can't wait for it to get started.
How about Rick Barnes was the head basketball coach at the University of Texas whenever I was at Texas, so I have a great relationship with Coach Barnes.
Yeah, a wonderful human being is Rick Barnes. How about the job, though, speaking of basketball, I mean, John Calipari last year, the job he did with the Hawks, can he do it again? A lot to talk about in the coming months. A lot to talk about here at this game as well. Arkansas's offense has looked super sharp. And that kick will sail through the back of the checkerboard. Well, how about last year's game? We told you the first half it was 3-0 was the score at the half. 2 high-powered offenses, but last year it was an Arkansas rally down the stretch to win it. 2020, the Hogs won that one. 2015, how about a 24-20 Arkansas victory? And then Bobby Petrino was coaching when in 2011 when Arkansas just thumped Tennessee 49-7. A 4-game win streak in this series for Arkansas. Tennessee hopes that ends right here, right now. Star Thomas with his first carry today. These two teams have this is the 21st time these two teams have played in a series. Their first meeting was way back in 1907. I think it had been a few more matchups over time.
That's the end of the first quarter.
So far, some fireworks here at Neyland Stadium. It's a 10-7 Arkansas lead after 1 quarter of play. Back in a moment.
Coach, how has your offense been effective and aggressive here early?
We're running the football. I think our offensive line is doing a really good job, and both running backs are hitting it and seeing it and accelerating through the hole.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Yeah, no doubt. His combination of Russell and Washington so far, and throw in Taylor Green, who's their leading rusher coming into this game. It will be a wild ride to figure out who's going to play in the SEC championship this year. I don't think anybody has any idea how that's going to play out.
Yeah, I can't tell you who the best team in the conference is right now. There are so many candidates, but to your point, to find out who's going to be playing in December, that's the question everybody wants to know the answers to.
Tell you what, Alabama's win at Missouri today, certainly impressive against a team that had been playing at a super high level and played well today. Alabama just a little bit better. Maybe they take over that top spot.
Hey, looking like it. Week after week, they find a way to improve. 3 straight ranked wins, too. It's impressive.
SEC football is presented by Sonic. Buy one Sonic Smasher and get a free large drink when you order in the Sonic app. And in part by T-Mobile 5G home internet.
The old pump fake. Remember those days? Nobody, I mean, it's like you don't see this much anymore. Driving around the neighborhood. Kids playing ball in the front yard. It's great to see. It's been a great weekend here. Beautiful weather. Knoxville is a beautiful place on the banks of the Tennessee River. Foothills of the Smoky Mountains. That'll come out to the 25-yard line. So far combined, we have almost 400 yards of offense, 232 rushing yards, 22 first downs. The average play combined for both teams over 7 yards per play.
Send out the punt unit.
Coach Petrino was the OC at Texas A&M before coming to Arkansas at the beginning of the 2024 season. So it's been 3-4 years since he's had to manage the clock. And he'll stop it with 59 seconds left before halftime. Asked him about, were there any surreal moments since he got the interim head coach job, and he was like, no, as you heard Morgan say, he uses that line, I took the rear view mirror off and just threw it away, not looking behind. He goes, but I did when I walked into the coaches show on Wednesday night in Fayetteville. He said that's kind of when it kind of hit me, because I saw a bunch of people that I used to do the coaches shows with before, same smiling faces, everybody just a little bit grayer.
Probably say the same about all of us in that manner as well. I got to ask Dave, do you own an all-orange suit?
3-piece, no, just a 2-piece, single-breasted. It was quite the look at 7:30 in the morning, I'm not gonna lie. So tied at 17, Arkansas with a 4-game win streak over the Tennessee Volunteers with a good first half. Tennessee tried to win back-to-back conference games. Keep their push for the college football playoff alive. 30 minutes in the books. Nothing has been settled. Josh Heupel making his way down to Morgan in that end zone. Let's go down there now. Morgan?
Coach, how would you evaluate the way your offense has adjusted to this new look Arkansas defense?
A little bit up and down. There's some things that we got to go execute, some things to clean up in the run game. End of the day, we got 3 more minutes, got the ball. Let's go play.
Arkansas's rushing attack has found success, but what worked that last defensive drive?
Yeah, I'm able to apply pressure. You know, for us, we haven't tackled well. They've been moving forward. Let the quarterback get outside of the pocket. We got to clean some of that up. 30 more minutes. Let's go play ball.
Thank you, Coach.
30 more minutes. Tied at 17. 4-1 Tennessee, 2-3 Arkansas. With that, time to get you to our Charlotte studios. Dari, it's all yours. You're watching SEC football presented by Sonic. Good look at downtown Knoxville. Gorgeous Saturday afternoon for some SEC football. 100,000 packs inside Neyland Stadium. 30 minutes in the books, and nothing has been determined to this point. We are tied at 17. Dave Neal back alongside my partner, former Texas Longhorn running back, Fozzie Whitaker. Fozzie, what stood out in the first half for you?
I think this Arkansas team has been impressive with the amount of turnover that they had at the coaches, and even the first turnover in the game in the first quarter. They've been able to respond and playing some really good football offensively.
Let's take a look at our secret recipe of the week, brought to you by our friends at Bush's Beans. And for that, certainly Mike Washington has not been a secret. He's been very effective.
Oh, he's part of the reason why this offense is running at all cylinders. 11 carries, 100 yards to date, And part of what makes him so explosive is his lateral movements and then his ability to make defenders miss. Once he get in open field, he's one of the fastest players on the team. And then, they've been very physical at the point of attack as well. That's what you want to see more of in the second half if Arkansas wants to have continued success offensively.
100 yards in the first half for Mike Washington, a second 100-yard game as an Arkansas Razorback. His career high came as a freshman. He ran for 155 yards against Bowling Green. But this first half, the other thing that stands out to me, just no penalties for Arkansas in the first half. With all the changeover that's been going on this week, different voices at practice.
Yeah.
It's really a testament to the guys wearing the white jerseys right now.
Absolutely. They could have thrown in the towel after, obviously, Coach Pittman was let go. But Bobby Petrino seems to have invigorated this team to be able to play more effectively, more efficiently, and obviously not shooting themselves in the foot. Obviously got to eliminate the one turnover, but the second half, they're going to have to continue to produce more points than they have in the past because this Tennessee offense doesn't slow down either.
Looks like we have some sort of issue going on. Maybe a communications issue. Not sure. Everybody's talking over there to Bobby Petrino right now. And now, see, he didn't have to deal with this before.
Well, even game day operations, right? Having to put everything else. Yeah, it's something going on with the communication issues, but it's been impressive and remarkable to see the coaches handle the game day operations since they haven't been in that position together in this staff until today.
So Tennessee's headset have gone out is what we're hearing now. So Arkansas, because it's an SEC game, well, they're going to have to put their headsets down until Tennessee can get their situation back in order.
It doesn't look like Coach Heupel is happy with that from his expressions.
Josh Heupel still wearing his headset, though. The optics of that, if you're on the other sideline, is like, wait a minute. Now, who's he talking to in his headset?
Maybe it's just a communication to the quarterback on the field. It's the only thing I can think of.
So old school. Look at him. He does not look happy.
Not at all. But he looks unfazed also at the same time. Official just now told the Tennessee coaches to remove the headsets as well.
Lewis. Morgan, what's going on down there?
Well, guys, let me tell you, Bobby Petrino was able to effectively communicate inside the locker room with his team. He said the emphasis will continue to be the same. We will look to run the ball. He said his offensive line has done a great job finishing blocks, but we have to continue doing that, getting to the second level of the linebackers. And this Arkansas team has struggled mightily in this second half this season. He's asking for the same energy he saw from his defense. And let me tell you, that tunnel, those Arkansas players fired up coming out to start this second half.
William Wright with a great play for Tennessee on special teams after a 48-yard punt. Take a look at For the Win, brought to you by Sanderson's Farm, as we take a look at tonight's matchup between Florida and number 5 Texas A&M. First time Texas A&M has been in the top 5 since 2021. DJ Lagway coming off of that Florida Gator team coming off a very impressive win last week. Can they keep it going? One of the untold stories, I think, is the play of Marcel Reed in this league. We talked about some other quarterbacks, but that guy has been consistent every game for the Aggies so far.
Yeah, part of the reason why they're undefeated, they're going to lean on him tonight if they want to have success going against that Florida defense.
5 to go, third quarter. Well, don't forget, coming up next, it's number 11 LSU hosting South Carolina and Death Valley, the final game of our SEC Network triple header. Let's hope it's as good as what we have seen the first couple of games. Ole Miss hanging on to beat Washington State and have a good one here. Of course, South Carolina has Had a couple of speed bumps along the way here in 2025. Can they get it straightened out on the road in Baton Rouge? That's coming up when we are finished here in Knoxville. Now that, my friends, is impressive.
That is very impressive. Let's do that, Dave. Let's grow our beards out. Find a way to showcase our school pride.
Well, I may have to find a new place to live if I'm going to do that. I'm not sure I'm ready for that.
The College Football Playoff begins December 19th and concludes with the National Championship January 19th on ESPN.
Tennessee hoping for another crack at the College Football Playoff after last year's run into the CFP.
SEC football is presented by Sonic. Buy one Sonic Smasher and get a free large drink when you order in the Sonic app.
Great shot, Neyland Stadium. Tennessee and Arkansas. Tennessee starting to get some separation. 34-17. We were tied at 17 at the half. It has been a tough, emotional week for the Southeastern Conference as longtime SEC Executive Associate Commissioner Mark Womack passed away earlier this week after a short battle with severe health issues. He spent 47 years with the SEC, and his fingerprints are all over so much of what you know about this league, from football schedules, TV rights, expansion, you name it. He was right in the middle of it all, every one of those big decisions. Our thoughts and our prayers go out to his family, co-workers, and friends. Mark Womack was 70 years old. There's the gap to 3 with 2:55 left to play. You see our quarterback situation, 256, 221, but Taylor Green that last drive, 5 of 7 for 80 yards. 3 touchdowns responsible for, including an 11-yard scamper for Green today. A little squibber that's going to go into the end zone. And so Tennessee now will just try to chew up as much of this clock as possible. Give Arkansas credit, man. We talked about them getting hit in the mouth, and they got hit in the mouth, but they've answered with 10 straight points to get back in this.
Yeah, to your point, imagine if they didn't have the 3 turnovers, where this game would be. They move into 3 points. This is what Arkansas wanted to showcase who they were. The last time they were in a situation down by 17 points, it didn't end well. Notre Dame ran away from them. Now they're showing an opportunity of what team this is, being able to fight back and try to get a chance to get the ball back one more time for that Bobby Petrino offense. Good team.
Tennessee will finish with 490 yards of offense. Deshaun Bishop with 146 of it on the ground, 221 for Joey Aguilar. Arkansas puts up almost 500, 496, 256 for Taylor Green. Mike Washington rushes for 131, but all told, the numbers that matter are on the big board. Tennessee wins it 34-31. The 12th ranked Volunteers go to 5-1. Arkansas will drop to 2-4. Bobby Petrino's club gave a fighting effort here on the road, but Tennessee finally snaps this 4-game Arkansas winning streak over the Volunteers. Well, that'll do it from here in Knoxville with the final score. 34-31. Tennessee wins it. For Fonzie Whitaker, Morgan Uber, and the rest of our crew, I'm Dave Neal saying so long. Time to get you to Tom Hart, Jordan Rogers, and Cole Kubelik in Baton Rouge.
Coach, this team continues to find a way to win. What did it take to hang on?
Yeah, a lot of unknowns offensively coming into it. Different defensive structures showed up during the game. They handled it in a good way. We weren't clean throughout the course of the game. There's a lot more out there for us. Defensively, second half, played really well till the end. We just got to figure out how to put it all together for 60 minutes. Got a chance to be a really good team. Special teams were solid. End of the day, it's a good win. Had to overcome a lot of things during the course of the game. Proud of the competitive spirit of our team.
A bit of a scary moment. We see your quarterback, Joey Aguilar, go down there at the end. You hear the fans chanting his name. How do you explain what he means to this team?
Yeah, a guy that came in, went about it the right way, earned the respect of his teammates, coaches, and our fan base too, because of who he is and how he plays. And you know, he's a great competitor. He stays consistent throughout of it, good, bad, just goes and plays the next play. And really proud of what he's done.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you. Good job, man.